I got some recruiting to do on college football, and I got a little time tonight, so.
Well, there you go. Well,
gotta get moving.
That's what a way to start then. All right. How's recruiting going?
It's going tremendously well. I left my job at Pitt. I am now the head coach at Florida State University, and in my second season, we are the number one team in the nation. And I have signed 7 5-star players, which this is the first season I've ever signed a 5-star. So it's been quite the ride at the college football.
Nice.
Pretty excited about it.
Yeah, sounds good. But anyhow,
haven't even fired up Madden. Like, it's downloaded. I have it. I bought the bundle. Haven't even loaded it up yet. So college football is keeping me going.
You gotta fire it up so you can see these new Lions unis in action.
I haven't thought about that. That's going to be my reason to do it.
Yeah.
I'm really waiting, because I'm enjoying college football so much, I'm just waiting for Madden for the NFL season to get a little further along.
Sure.
So the rosters are more accurate, and then I'll jump in and start my franchise.
That's fair. We'll squeeze in some Lions talk at the end, hopefully. But this is Chris and Matt's Wrestling Podcast. Back after a week off here, but we that doesn't mean we didn't podcast together last week. We were both on the Late Night Grin last Friday night to do the SummerSlam draft with everyone, basically.
Everyone.
Yeah. It felt like but Joe and Bob and Oracle, and then even Alex and Shoot, which I had never. This was my first time being on screen with those two gentlemen, so that was a lot of fun. But God, it was a blast. I listened to it back earlier this week between Sunday and Monday, and I was laughing even harder listening to it back than when we were actually doing it at some of the stuff. And you catch certain things you might not have caught at the time, and so no, that was a blast. That was a lot of fun.
Like WrestleMania 22, it was big time.
It was big time. It was big time.
No, I got about, I think I listened to maybe 45, 50 minutes of it, and I haven't picked it up to finish it. Just to see where I could have gone better and to catch more of the interactions when you're not in the middle of trying to all right, if he does this, who am I going to go with? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it was a great time. Yeah. I was a little disappointed. I feel like if I would have known we had a platform to pitch our show a little better,
right,
I think we all would have. And then Alex just came in with just absolute gold. And I was like, well, we it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. None of us stand a chance now.
Right.
So kudos to him.
Yeah. I didn't. That thought never occurred to me. So he took it and ran with it. So yeah, good for him. So that was a lot of fun, and in the meantime, SummerSlam came and went. So we're not really, that's 2 weeks old now at this point. We're not really going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the other stuff coming out of SummerSlam though that has been going on, and specifically on Raw. There's, obviously we'll talk a little bit about Roman too, I guess. His return.
I feel like we just knocked that out of the way, first. That way
that's fine.
Dive into Raw.
That's fine. We can do that. Roman's back, and he took out all of the Bloodline by himself last week, so I guess he doesn't need to get the Usos and Sami Zayn back together. So there's that.
Slow build. If there's one thing about this storyline, you're not getting it all at once. That's for sure.
I know.
It's going to be mid-September, early October before I think Roman has the crew even starting to form.
Probably. Yeah. So I guess he's going to be on SmackDown again this week. So we'll see where that goes from there as well. But yeah, Roman's back. He's super over. There's not really much else to say other than that. It's something we've been waiting on, and kind of, I've been saying since Oh, basically, I think I seen it basically since right after WrestleMania when Solo kind of took control of the Bloodline. I'm like, oh, well, this is setting up for Roman to come back at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So, it happened, and I'm just wondering. Part of me is like, are we gonna do Roman Solo already at Bash in Berlin? There's, as of right now, so these B pay-per-views, we'll call them, the ones that aren't the big four, typically get 5 matches, and we've got 3 already. So, does that take up one of the other?
Isn't there a crown? Isn't there a crown jewel in October usually, or is it November?
November, I think. I think it's early November, I want to say.
I feel like the Solo Roman match could happen there because they've been trying to make a better. Well, not trying to. They've always made like the Saudi show usually has a pretty big match, and Roman's definitely going to be on that show if he's working anything around that time.
Yeah.
Just because of the financials involved.
Right.
So I don't think they're going to go to it yet. I think it's going to be more of a back and forth for a little bit. But to me, what you said there wasn't much to it. I thought there was, the hinting of his problems with Cody still. Like I don't know if you saw the one clip where he was like, soon enough, that's going to be mine again. He said it to Cody as he was walking out of the ring at SummerSlam. Like, it feels like they're hinting back towards that. And I saw, or I listened to Busted Open this week, and they were kind of talking a little bit about like, well, do they have a problem here with who's over more now, Cody or Roman? Did they just kind of did they make a mistake here by having Roman come back with Cody on SmackDown, because now Roman kind of overshadows Cody? But to me, it just seems like a newer version of Rock Austin. If they play their cards right, and it would be perfect for them.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Like, pick a side, and, they're both going to be good guys to their fans. And that'll be better than any heel face storytelling you're trying to do, from a story standpoint, from a creative writing standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah. And exactly. That's exactly what I thought of too, is like, we've got, this era's version of Rock Austin now. Like, the 2 super over guys on the same show, technically on the same side of the face heel dynamic. And yeah, we'll just see where things go from there. I do like that, Kevin Owens at least is not like, didn't get an amnesia, as far as like all the stuff Roman did.
Oh, he's a good guy now.
Yeah.
I can trust it.
Yeah. So that was, I did like that of Cody, like, wanting to give KO the title shot, and KO's like, I don't deserve it. And then all this is like, well, that's all right. We owe Roman one anyway, or something, like, basically implying that he was going to give the shot to Roman, and KO was like, no, screw that, I'll take
it. I'll take it. Yep.
So yeah, we'll see where the story goes. So
now, you said you had some Monday Night Raw. Where are you wanting to start? Things have been going crazy over there.
There is a lot cooking on Raw. I guess we'll just start with what I think is the new hottest angle in the company. The Terror Twins versus Judgment Day.
Street Trash or whatever.
Oh God, I hope that's so far so good that's not taking place. That would not be good. But yeah, man, this stuff. They did the Dom turn and the Finn turn at SummerSlam, and the 2 weeks of Raw since then, they've really been, Finn's kind of been like picking his spots with Damian, not letting Damian get his hands on him. So,
which is perfect.
And so Damian has his attention on helping his, terror twin Rhea Ripley take care of this Liv and Dom situation. So I thought this week in particular, with Rhea in the ring cutting her promo, Dom and Liv up on the top of the stairs, and then Priest just shows up behind them, kind of like the AJ Undertaker meme a little bit.
Yep.
I thought that was really good. And then when we were texting about it a little bit this week, later on in the night, when Priest was wrestling Carlito, and Judgment Day got involved, and Rhea comes out, and she had Dom up like she was getting ready to give him the riptide, and Liv saved him. But when she got him up, that place went banana.
If they're smart with this, Dom or Rhea and Damian won't get their actual hands on them for weeks. And I know they already announced the mixed tag match.
Yeah.
But they could run this whole thing for months.
Oh yeah.
Especially if the ultimate prize ends up being Finn overall.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna I think it's gonna do great things for everyone in that group, to let them kind of go their separate ways and not have a situation where only one person comes out as a bigger deal than when it started.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. And then speaking of things that are a bigger deal than what they started, the last 2 weeks they've poured all the gas onto Bronson Reed and trying to heat him up as a monster heel. And I'd say mission accomplished so far. He took Seth out last week. This week it was R-Truth and The Miz. Where eventually that takes him, we'll see. But as far as trying to just building a guy without a real feud or story, I think they're doing a pretty good job with him.
Yeah. My mind immediately goes to Haas match with Breakker at some point, but I don't know how that happens or when. So
and we'll get to Bron here in a minute. I don't think it's going to be too long before Bron's the crowd just turns Bron babyface without him doing anything to, I think it's going to be one of those situations here in the next couple months. So that very well could be the case. But yeah, I really like what they're doing with Bronson Reed right now. Looks like we're going to get a strap match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, either at Berlin or later on down the road, but that story keeps progressing.
Cool.
You're out?
Dude, we didn't pod after SummerSlam. I hated that match so much. I hated it so much. Especially now that we know Seth was going to have to go away again. The fact that he was such a focal point in the build and in the actual playing out of the match, it bothered me. I didn't like that. And everyone's made the complaints, or lots of people have made the complaints that we're going to tear each other apart. You're going to see a level of violence, blah, 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 that Cleveland hasn't experienced. And then they kind of just had a little bit of a brawl. It wasn't super violent. It wasn't super aggressive. McIntyre having to win with a nut shot, I don't know. It kind of cheapened the win to me, which I know is kind of the intent, but I don't know. It wasn't for me. And a strap match is one of those. It'll be violent, hopefully. Well, violent in a sense.
It'll be WWE violent.
Yeah. But I don't know. Those matches are never really exciting. They get after the first couple, swings. It's not like there's much else you do to be like, oh my God.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And the stuff with the bracelet is I'm one of those. The bracelet thing is gone. It's gone on way too long. And the trying to attempt to fix it this week with he's not allowed to say my wife's name. Like, great way to give him more ammo to get into your head, dude. Like, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll figure it out and it'll get back to where it was, but I'm a little out on it right now.
Fair. I think that was, other than Bron, Sammy. I'm trying to think there was anything else on Raw.
The Wyatt Six had their
they had their match last week, which was pretty good.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't like it didn't blow the doors down. It is who it is in that respect, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Presentation looked really cool.
Presentation was good. I think it did a lot for a lot of, to maybe, calm the fears of some of the naysayers of what this is and stuff like that. Like, they didn't wrestle in the masks like some people were afraid of and stuff like that. So yeah, that was good. But yeah, and then, Bron and Sammy had a 2 out of 3 falls match this week. That was just incredible. I've watched the lawn dart spot like a million times.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Sammy, I don't know if you've seen Sammy on Twitter. He's like, he quote, he tweeted the clip when he had this big long thing about how beautiful pro wrestling is and stuff like that, and blah 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 blah. And then like a few hours later, he quote tweeted his own tweet and was like something like, I wonder why my shoulder hurts or something like that. Like, oh yeah. So it was pretty funny, but
good on Sammy, like to really put Bron over too, like being the guy that's willing to elevate that kid and give him a boot, like give him a running start.
Yeah.
And now it's on Bron to make it work. And like you said, it feels like he's going to get turned, or at least you think he's going to get turned by the crowd. Let him get hot and see what he can do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if before his entrance on Monday, he did this little backstage thing as he was walking to Gorilla, and he says some stuff, and then right before he walks into Gorilla, he's like, hey McAfee, are there any dogs here tonight? And the whole crowd just starts barking.
All right.
Yeah.
Like. All right. He's gonna, not to take an unnecessary shot at AEW, but I'm going to. They've found their Wardlow, and they're actually going to use him properly and deploy him.
Huh? Yeah. Imagine that. So.
Imagine that.
So yeah, lots of good stuff happening over on Raw.
Yeah, they're as the kids say, they're cooking right now.
They are cooking. So, and there might be, I don't know, maybe Raw, maybe SmackDown, maybe NXT. It looks like there might be a couple new faces here in the next month or so coming over. Masks. Yes, true.
You won't see their faces.
No. Except for the every other match when they do the heel's going to pull their mask off spot.
Right.
All signs are pointing to the Lucha Brothers making the jump from AEW to WWE.
Hopefully this will be like, if things have really changed in WWE in terms of how they're going to present talent.
Mm-hmm.
If they sign the Lucha Bros and bring them over to WWE and use them the way that team should be used, that would be the signal to be that, like, okay, you really do have a chance if you make the jump. It's not just because Cody came here or came from here. Like, if you make the jump, we will use you if we think, if there's something there. And it's not going to be this old Vince McMahon thing where it's like,
well, you bring them in and you adapt them to our style, and then you see what they can do. And after you've stripped them of all their momentum, you're like, why doesn't anyone care? Well,
Right.
because you didn't make them special when they came in. So
Right. Obviously, it's not a done deal yet. The reports come out, and then Penta tried to do damage control this week. It was like, AEW is my present.
yeah,
It's like, okay, dude.
yeah, whatever.
And
What?
I guess Phoenix's deal ends like a little bit after Penta's does, and there's always. Suppose if AEW wanted to get real petty with it, they could add a whole shit ton of injury time to Phoenix's contract to drag that out. But so yeah, we'll see. But it all signs point to them coming over. If I could again, it sounds like they are really gonna, at least the first couple weeks, they're gonna make this NXT jump to CW a big deal. Going on the road the first 2 weeks. You're gonna have Punk the 1 week, Orton the next week.
Yeah.
I don't think them going there would be the worst thing, at least to start. Not saying they need they need to be down at the PC taking classes, but just them being on the NXT TV to elevate that a little bit. For just a few months, quick little tag run, and then up to one of the main shows. I just got this feeling that like HBK would just fall in love with Phoenix.
Yeah, I it's just like I can't believe they're not going to be part of AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it this feels like a massive fumble to me? Am I overthinking that? Like,
I think you are, because they did a lot. They have done as a tag team, they've done all they can do in AEW. They won the tag team titles in one of the greatest. You were there for that match, weren't? Yeah, that was the year you were there.
the cage
match against the Bucks. They won the trios belts with Pac. So as a tag team, they really did everything they could do. And this is the good part of having AEW, like, two companies, is like this should be this shouldn't be a rare thing. This should be normal. Like, there should be movement.
I think you're still focusing on them as the tag team. To me, it feels like both of those guys are more than capable of having a singles career.
Sure.
Like, I don't understand how you let talent like that get away when you're AEW, when you're just, I don't know. It feels like those are guys that should still be a part of the brand, and you're having a hard time keeping people engaged with some of the new people you've brought in. Those are guys that I think could have been interwoven in a bunch of different ways, especially over 3 weekly TV shows. It's just, I don't know. It feels like to me, it's more of an explanation of like why people are saying there's problems in AEW. But the Lucha Bros are just out.
Yeah, I think part of it too, from AEW's side, I think early AEW, yes, Penta especially, there was a time where he could have been a world champion. The singles roster, whatever you feel like, where everyone's positioned and what their stories are and stuff like that, as far as talent goes, their singles roster is stacked, and WWE's is too. That's why I think this is, and the the word is that Penta's made it clear that him and Phoenix together are a package deal, and part of that is probably just him wanting to bring his younger brother along, but at the same time too, like, I think they are more valuable as a tag team. So, and with Phoenix specifically, you never know with him. Like, he gets so hurt so often, and like the weirdest.
Man, that's fair.
Just the weirdest things, and he's out for weeks at a time. So, I think WWE is going to be able to capitalize on them at the very least from a merch standpoint. They're going to be able to do way more than what AEW has been able or willing to do from that standpoint. So,
yeah, that's true.
And now, then WWE will have both of George Kittle's favorite wrestlers under contract.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. It'll be definitely weird the first time that you see him, though. It'll be like, wow, this is something. But yeah, we'll see. It's not all terrible news in AEW, though. They announced a big stadium show for next summer. All In will be back on American soil next year in Dallas, Texas, at the Globe Life Field.
You said there's no bad news in that? It's Texas.
Well,
it's in Texas.
Well, but it's in July, so there'll be some distance between All In and All Out. That's a good thing. It's their first U.S. stadium show. So, yeah, that's pretty big news today for them.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's all jokes aside. It sounds like they have a real good relationship with the Dallas area. They've ran there a lot over the 5 years when they were able to travel. They've ran a lot. They've just did that residency for Collision and stuff at that esports arena. So makes a lot of sense. So yeah, All In at a baseball stadium.
Good for them.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see if they'll pack it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's 11 months away. Who knows what can happen between now and then? Maybe they catch fire again. I hope. It'd
be awesome.
If you got two U.S. promotions that can fill stadiums, that'd be pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be pretty awesome. This year's All In is in a couple weeks. And I don't know what we're doing here. I caught the end. I caught like the last half hour or so of Dynamite last night. Specifically though, I'm this main event here at All In. I never know who to root for in that company. With few exceptions.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy is forever babyface. Darby Allin, seems to be perpetually a babyface. Other than that, there's your heels too, that are heels most of the time too. But it's just, we did this whole thing, and I'm trying to put my Hangman bias aside, my pro Hangman bias aside, and not be fuck this, but I'm kind of fuck this. We did this thing, we did this feud with Hangman Swerve late last year, and my complaint at the time was Swerve broke in his house, and they had Hangman lose anyway. And out of that, somehow Swerve becomes this babyface with the crowd. Whatever. Fans are fickle. That's fine. And so he was a babyface for a few months. And then, starting with the Ospreay feud, he started, talking to Ospreay, kind of a dick. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And now fast forward, we're 2 weeks out of Wembley. Him versus Bryan for the title. Bryan's putting his career on the line. And now Swerve is like telling him he's going to cripple him in front of his daughter. I'm like, so basically what you're saying, and meanwhile, everyone's like thinking Hangman's this massive heel right now. I'm like, so basically what you're telling me is Hangman's been right this entire time.
Yeah.
Swerve is an asshole. Like,
yeah.
I just don't, again, I don't know what to do with this main event. Because as I've said before, they've had 3 fucking years to make Bryan win the title. Like, say, look, Bryan, I understand you want to put people over, but we need you to win this world title. So you're going to win this world title and hold on to it at least for a couple months here. And they didn't do it. And so now all of a sudden, when it's the worst possible time, in my opinion, both from, there's other worthy people, whether it be Hangman or they should have done what? Why Ospreay winning the world title at Wembley was not the plan, especially when you were considering that next year you weren't going back to Wembley. Like, I just don't understand why your big plan for Will Ospreay was like, oh, we're gonna have him feud with MJF for our secondary title.
And why would MJF's character, in any sense of what he's been, come back from that injury where he got screwed out of his title and be like, I'm not going to worry about the world championship. I've got other things to focus on. And then go to a secondary belt and turn into like a just completely different version of any character that was interesting. And like, how did they not have him penciled in for something better at this point or in the world title scene?
Right.
I don't. We haven't talked about AEW in weeks because neither one of us have a lot of good things to say about it. And it's stuff like this where it's just like, like you said, I'm not super thrilled if Bryan wins the belt, but I'm not ready to see his career end. And if his career was going to end, I certainly didn't want it to be like a foregone conclusion where like it's a stip in a match where it's like, well, okay, but if he wins, he gets the belt, but he's already talking in the press about how like he's going to have neck surgery by the end of the year. So he wins the belt, and then what? We just know he's going to drop it back to Swerve at Wrestle Dream,
right?
And then retire there. Like, it's just
yeah. So that's so aside from the other worthy people that should be in a position to beat Swerve for the belt, like, you know, he's held together with duct tape right now. He was gonna retire from full-time wrestling anyway here in a little bit,
right?
So I mean that was no secret. And yeah, the whole thing, him saying he might need neck surgery. You know, they ran the Green Day video package tribute last night. I'm like, why would you run this before? Like 2 weeks before? That doesn't make any sense. They should have taken my idea and had Claudio and Wheeler come out dressed as Deadpool and Wolverine, though, like I said.
Right. Like, to me, if you're going to have, if you want to do the special match where Bryan retires, he wants to face Swerve as his last match. Like, you know, that's the guy he had picked. They've got the Seattle connection. You know, you could just do a match where he's like, listen, I don't want to, I know this is going to be my last full-time match, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to wrestle you for the championship because I know I can't go on after that. So I want to wrestle you in a non-title match where if I lose, then I know I'm no longer good enough to be the champion. And if I win, I go out knowing I was still the best in the world.
Yeah.
And then he walks off, but he doesn't, then it doesn't create this drama with the belt. That would be so much more compelling than, well, I'm putting my career up, and if I don't win, I'm done. But if I do win, I get the belt, but I'm already telling people I got to wrap it up anyway. Like, okay, well, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was my big takeaway last night watching the end of Dynamite. I'm like, guys, I just
I saw people saying this stuff with the Elite and Okada has completely fizzled out. I'm completely checked out. I don't even know what they're doing week to week, but I've been seeing a lot of like in the message boards and on Twitter of people like, are the Bucks just checked out mentally? Like, what is this? Like, they've lost all momentum from what I can tell.
Yeah, yeah. People were. I didn't see. So I caught the end of the match, the Young Bucks Acclaim match, and from what I saw online, it was like people were like, the Young Bucks look cooked. So I don't know if that's them like being bad on purpose or if they really are cooked. You know, you never can tell with them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You know, from what I've seen, like, you know, the Okada stuff, part of it is fine. It's a little weird that he's, as of right now, it looks like he's not going to have a singles match at All In. He's gonna wrestle Pac on the Dynamite from Cardiff, and he sounds like they're gonna load up this gauntlet or whatever they've got at the pay-per-view, so he'll probably be in that. But so yeah, that's a little weird. Just a lot of weird stuff that I'm just like, I don't understand.
That's like trading for Mike Trout and then being like, yeah, but he's just gonna be a pinch hitter.
Right.
Like, yeah, he's not the Mike Trout he was 7 years ago. It's not the same Okada, but that guy's still in there. Like, he can still do it pretty frequently. Like, why are you not building more around him? And like, people were so excited for him to come over, and then it just turns into like a goofball, non-serious Okada. Like,
Have you considered, though, he doesn't want to be Okada?
Well, then why the hell do you bring him in? Like, and again, well, I know we traded for you, Mike, but I understand you want to be Kenny Lofton now, but no, we need you hitting dingers out here.
So anyhow, but yeah, that was my AEW rant for the week. All right. Oh, real quick before we get to Lions talk. Speaking of punk bands from the 90s and 2000s.
Oh.
You got to go see Blink-182 the other night.
I did. I got to cover the show for work. I was able to bring my wife with me.
I read your article. It seems like you had a very nice time.
I did. You know, I told the Ed, our entertainment reporter who does a lot of these, and he goes to a lot of this stuff. He's really good at what he does. I told him it was the first time I've been to a show where like I actively had to fight, like bouncing the, because when I go, like I don't clap. I nod my head and stuff, but like I'm not singing along. I'm trying to be, they're kind enough to bring me in to review the show. I'm not going to go there and act like a fan, But
you're just too professional.
I'm not a broadcast journalist, but I want to hold up to the standards of Mr. Heenan. But there were a few times where I was like, I was mouthing the words, and like some of the stuff they were doing when they did Stay Together for the Kids.
Mm-hmm.
The entire arena pulled out their cell phones. It was like the Fireflies with Bray, and I got a panoramic picture of the arena, and I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. And the guy from the Free Press, I think it was from the Free Press, it was one of the two Detroit papers. I caught him, and I'm like, all right, so I'm cool to like, enjoy the scenery and stuff like that. But Tom DeLonge had been sick. Yeah, they had to cancel the two shows before the one in Detroit.
Right.
And he made so many jokes. Like they finished one song and the lights came up and he goes, I have so much snot in my face right now.
And he's like, like some poor kid had to come clean up his rags. And they were, making Blink-182 sex jokes about the rags.
Of course. As you do.
Tom was still sick, and you could really hear it like the last 5 songs. But I mean, the dude, worked through it. He got through it, brother. And, as I said in my review, like the crowd was more than willing to sing along. And it kind of made the night even more special because he was relying on the audience so much. So, I was really fortunate they gave us incredible seat. I was 15 rows from the stage. Like Mark was playing in front of us because they had a stage that rotated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where Mark was for about, I'd say 2/3 of the show was like right there. Like you'd feel like, oh my God, he looked at me. So, and like we entered through this. I sound like a jerk saying this, but the entrance that they had us go through had like a private area where there were bathrooms just for the like 2 or 3 sections in that area.
Yeah.
Which was nice because like you didn't get stuck in the long lines up on the concourse.
Yeah.
And it had like a bar down there. I was like, dude, I had no idea this was here. Like, I've never gone through one of those portals at the LCA.
Yeah. So it's like the club area.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I went to something. I don't remember what it was. It might have been when I got the tickets to the Wings game from my uncle the one time. I don't know, but there I know there was at least one event that we went to, where our seats, you had to go through that area to get to your seats.
Yeah, so. And it looked like it would be the area like if you were a member down there where they'd have like a pregame buffet sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's kind of cool. So.
Yeah.
But other than Tom's voice, the band sounded really good. Got a new appreciation for Travis Barker, seeing him play, in person. And the crowd was there for everything. The last 5 songs of the night were just hit after hit after hit.
Banger after banger.
Yeah. When they got to First Date, it was like, hell yes. That was the one where I was really like, screw it, I'm singing along a little bit.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a good time. I was real fortunate to be able to cover it.
Hell yeah.
Might be covering a couple more things coming up. Who knows?
Sweet. So training camp rolls on.
Yep.
Had a
what have we been saying, Chris? What do we want out of training camp?
Everyone to be healthy.
And what has been happening so far, Chris?
Everyone's getting hurt.
What are we gonna do about this?
I don't know. We better
think of something, because this is awful. This is terrible.
Yeah, the main one was Gibbs early in the week. Left with a apparent hamstring injury. Campbell says he's going to be fine, but hamstrings, you never can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the main one. Then it didn't, wasn't it the same, like he went down that day and then didn't both Arnold and Rakestraw get hurt the same day?
Yeah.
And I think I checked out after
concussion.
That.
Arnold was a concussion, but I think he's cleared already. Hooker got hurt. He had a concussion from the preseason game.
Yeah, probably when he trucked that dude.
That's exactly what happened.
I'm like, hell yeah. And I'm like, oh, he got hurt.
Oh, maybe don't do that. Don't do that. Save that for like a real game.
Yeah.
And then Rakestraw got hurt. But I think Campbell said they're both like good to go. Laporte has been banged up. That's kind of scary. Especially since it doesn't seem like they found their number 3 receiver. Like him and Gibbs going down would be kind of problematic.
Would be.
They really got to hope for some health improvements out of those two, like soon.
Yeah, for sure. So, every day they're posting some sort of JMO highlight, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Carlton Davis is banged up too.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, right on schedule. Just
Yep.
the whole secondary just dies. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
But hey, the reports were Vildor had a great couple of practices this week. So
All right.
the ball isn't bouncing off his face anymore. So I guess that's an improvement.
Yeah. I can't believe they haven't. I mean, his freaking brother's on the team. I still can't believe they haven't reached out to Gilmore. I know he took a visit with Minnesota earlier this week. I don't think he's signed yet, but it's like I don't know why you wouldn't just, especially with, with Mosley going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just don't understand why you wouldn't at least bring him in for a look, but
I don't know. They get a lot of guys that are trying to get work back there already. So it could just be a thing of like, there's just only so many reps in total that you can have guys take. And they've got so many dudes. Cause like Branch is supposed to be transitioning back to safety, but he's still getting looks in the slot.
well, he's going to have to now,
slot.
Probably.
Well, no.
Well, they got Nick Robertson.
Right.
Still, yeah, that's true.
I mean, with Arnold and Rakestraw and Davis doesn't sound like it's going to be long term.
Yeah, that's true.
They've still got Kirby Joseph's back there. They've still got 8 or 9 guys that are going to be in this rotation to begin with. So trying to bring Gilmore in, where do you find him time?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And you're inevitably going to knock a young guy out of some playing time. And long term, they need to find long term solutions. So
that's fair. So okay, well, yeah, everyone just chill. Don't get hurt. Stop getting hurt. Nothing. Yeah, just stop.
No more.
Yeah, I know. I'm already just on pins and needles. This is gonna be the worst season ever. Even if it works out perfectly, the week to week, day by day, my emotional state up and down, this is gonna be awful.
I don't know if I'm prepared for this. I know my heart can handle the disappointment because of the expectations have always been so low, right? I've never felt this level of excitement, and if I get myself too worked up, yeah, you're right, it could be problematic.
Mm-hmm.
My dad swore he had a heart attack during the '97 Wings Cup run, so
yeah. And this would be that times 1,000.
A million.
It's cool to see.
Well, no, because my dad had experienced the drought of the cups, so that might have been crazy for him, which would be similar for us with the Lions. So yeah, right. Maybe I just croak.
Jesus. Speaking of the Wings, it was cool to see a few of them out at practice this week.
Yeah.
These small social media teams, though, they gotta do better, man. I don't know if you saw, but they put the clip out of Larkin giving Goff the 216 jerseys, one that said Goff, and one that had said Konstantinov, and it just didn't. It didn't make Jared look bad. But it also didn't make him look good either.
I didn't watch the clip.
So yeah, they're
was he just who's this guy?
Well, not like that, but so they went around to some of the players. I know St. Brown got one. A few of the players, they went around and gave them Red Wing sweaters with their number and name on the back of them.
Right.
And everyone, I don't know if everyone got one, but the key players got them. So then they went up to Goff, And Larkin's like, hey, we actually have 2 for you. Here's yours with your name on it. And then Larkin's like, 16 is a very important number in the Red Wings organization. It was wore by Vladimir Konstantinov. And you could tell Goff was like, kind of just like, okay. And then he goes, I'll have to do some research on that.
No.
And I'm like, why would you do that to him? Why couldn't you just edit that out?
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. It's a very important number in the Red Wings organization.
Yes.
So important that
it's not officially retired.
It's not retired, but whatever.
It's not retired, but no one's worn it since, so it's basically retired.
Put 91 in the rafters.
91 and 16. Do it.
You should put all 5 of them in there, but whatever.
Yeah.
Keith has his compromise all along has been you put a Russian 5 banner in the stand or in the rafters and you retire all the numbers.
Yeah, that yeah, perfect. Works for me. I mean, 13 will get retired twice then.
Right.
But that's fine. Whatever. So. All right. That's all I got.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything either.
All right. Cool. Well, that was fun.
All right.
It was fun.
I agree.
Okay. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a thumbs up on the video. Leave a comment about. You can leave a comment about what's most exciting to you in WWE right now. You leave a comment about what you think about the All In build. Just leave a comment. That'd be great. We'll be back next week. Oh, I got a new base cover this weekend. A couple weeks ago, Aerosmith announced that they were not going to be able to continue on their farewell tour. After all, they got like 3 shows in and had to postpone, and then we're just not going to be able to do it. Steven Tyler's voice is dead.
Crazy.
Yeah. So my little tribute to Aerosmith that drops on Saturday, I believe. So check that out. And I got something special planned for the month of September. So
Doing Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah. You got it.
What you didn't say? What song is the Aerosmith cover? A surprise? We have to wait till Saturday.
It's Angel.
Oh, okay.
So I've always liked that song.
Hell yeah. Yeah. They were doing a residency in Vegas one time when I was there, and I didn't go. The seats were like $200, and I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like if I just wait for them to come around Detroit, if I really wanted to go, I could get $50, $80 tickets and be in the building, right? Because I'm not expecting Aerosmith to be like they were in 1977 or whatever when they blew up.
Right.
Was it 77? Whatever.
But
now I kind of like, part of me is now kind of like, yeah, maybe I should have been like, yeah, let's bite the bullet and go see him. But I don't even know if the show would have been any good. Like,
didn't you see them at like Pine Knob?
No, I was gonna get they were going. Was it the Motley Crue tour where they were?
Yeah, it was them and Motley Crue. I thought you ended up going to that.
No, I ended up going to a different Motley Crue one. To Silvertide. I'm pretty sure Silvertide was supposed to be on the bill, and then something happened and they weren't going to be on it. And I was like, well, maybe I don't want to go, because we had seen Motley Crue before at that point, I believe.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. I saw them. I saw Aerosmith once. And it was them and Kiss together at Comerica Park. And Aerosmith headlined, much to my chagrin, especially when they had a.
I mean,
whatever. In Detroit,
you
in
said,
in Detroit,
you want to send the people home happy. Send them home happy.
Well, they didn't though. That's the problem, because they had a blues covers album that came out at the time, and like right in the middle of their set, they're like, "We're gonna play like five."
Honking for JoJo.
Yeah, honking on Bobo. Yeah. Right in the middle of their set, they're like, "We're gonna play 5 songs from the Honkin' on Bobo." I'm like, "All right, cool." And then some drunk dude spilled beer on my dad.
I didn't know that it happened to both of us at a concert.
Yeah. So.
I have to ask him about it. Like, did the guy like throw it on him, or
no? He was behind him and just oopsies. Sorry.
I got stuck between 2 people that were arguing. Someone threw a drink at another one, and bam, right in my face. And I was just like, it was Guns N' Roses in Seattle, and I was like, I remember at one point in my head thinking like, I wonder how long I would end up in jail if I just punched this guy in the face.
Yeah.
And then I was like, just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth the hassle. Plus, I'm not a big guy. I got my ass kicked. Who am I kidding?
No. I'll tell that. I'll say that joke off
All right.
there.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's wrap this up then.
All right. Until next week, everyone. See ya.